Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Just thought I'd return to you this afternoon today for the next album review that I did not review on March 1st of 2024, which is for New Year's Day's Half Black Heart album that I got a chance to listen to for myself to see what I was going to think of their new album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 12-track album, which is a little under 40 minutes, and I'll let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now, it starts with Vampire, and off the bat, it's a solid track. It's pretty good in its own way. I think Ashley's vocals have its good points and its slight weak points with how it's sounding, but overall, track does rock for sure. So it's a pretty good one. 4.75 out of 5. Excuse my burping. I was drinking an energy drink. Half Black Heart is the title track to the record, and off the bat, it's a really good title track. It was the last single I heard from them, and I really dig it. I think this was the fourth and last single they dropped for the record before the record came out. But it's still a really good track. I like Ashley's vocals in it. She sounds really good in the chorus, and this track definitely does rock, so 5 out of 5. One of my personal favorite songs from the record. The title track is really good. Hurts Like Hell is a pretty good song in its own way, so I'd give this a 4.75 out of 5. I do like some moments through the track that sound really good, but overall it's just the production that I'm honestly unsure what to think of. But overall, 4.75 out of 5. Secrets is pretty good in its own way, just not one of my personal favorites. So another 4.75 out of 5 for this one. It's pretty good, but there are some cringe moments as you listen through the track. So it's fine. Fearless is a little bit repetitious with how she sings Fearless a bit, but it's still pretty good for what it is. Maybe a little generic, but it's still pretty good. Ashley's vocals sound pretty alright in this song, meaning pretty good. So 4.75 out of 5. Bulletproof, a little melodic of a song, and there are some moments I liked, and other moments where I wasn't sure if I was feeling for it, but overall, strong track in its own way. 4.75 out of 5. Burn It All Down. It's another solid track. Probably one of the weaker songs for the record. I think Ashley's vocals are pretty good, but the problem is some of the execution and how the melody is sounding can have its hits and miss points. So it's fine for what it is, so 4.5 out of 5. Enemy is a pretty good track in its own way. I really like Ashley's vocals. Even her screams through this record are actually pretty strong, in my opinion. I mean, they sound screechy, but it's still pretty good for what it goes for. I mean, she doesn't seem like the type to do screamo vocals, but other than that, still a strong track, 4.75 out of 5. I Still Believe kind of was one of my favorite songs, but it's kind of grown a little distant from me. Like, I feel a little disconnect from this track with how the chorus is sounding. With I refuse to give up, I refuse to back down. I mean, positive, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It sounds a little positive with the message behind it, but overall, I think the track is pretty good in its own way. It does have its weak moments, but it's fine. 4.75 out of 5. Then comes Unbreak My Heart. Pretty strong track in its own way. There are some hit or miss moments with this song that I don't know if I feel for, but other than that, pretty good song for what I went for. 4.75 out of 5. Ashley's vocals sound pretty strong in this, but there are some hit or miss moments through the track. Maybe the chorus at least has its miss moments, how it's sounding. So Sick is pretty good in its own way too. I dig this track, but I don't know if I really like it right now. I have to see if this song grows on me throughout time, but overall, strong track for what I went for, so a 4.75 out of 5 for this one. Um, I just think Ashley's vocals sound pretty strong in this record, and I think she's really trying her best to make the record flow with this album. So then we get to the last song, Creature of Habit. This one is a little iffy, but it's pretty good for what it went for. I mean, the drum work in it's pretty strong. Ashley's vocals are pretty good, and the chorus sounds pretty strong. But it's the verses that I'm unsure what to think of. Like, it's there for the moment, and then once you go through the track, it progresses, but it just. The verses don't really do much for me. But overall, still a pretty good song in its own way. 4.75 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I found myself really enjoying this New Year's Day Half Black Heart record. In my opinion, I think it's a really good album. I don't see myself coming back to it all the time, but overall, if I were to give this record an overall score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is a pretty good record for what it went for. I was thinking of a different rating number for a second. I was like, why am I thinking of 6.5 out of 10? I'm like, why? But still, 9 out of 10 for New Year's Day Half Black Heart. It's a really good album. It's just the problem is there are some inconsistent moments through the record with how it's sounding. But overall, it tries to stay on point and consistent for what it's going for, and that's what I appreciate about Ashley and the band New Year's Day, because they're at least trying to make this record really strong, and it was really strong. So 9 out of 10 for New Year's Day Half Black Heart for their new album. Thank you for watching this album review this afternoon.